it's an iconic landmark in our community, and it's a shopping center that's situated been here for decades. And of course, with the certainly want to make sure that this to their areas before, and this is plan certainly supports that. Tomorrow night over at Sunday Gardens here in the Civic Center, 6:30 p.m. It's going to be fun. There'll be some free activities. And next Thursday at 6 p.m. Phô Westminster, which will be 90s cover band, will be playing, and that will be sponsored of our speaker. Last but not least, we are excited to announce that we are seeing a fall festival on September 24th. As you may recall, usually springtime we have a festival on Easter. This year for our 65th anniversary, and given the circumstances of the pandemic, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to have that spring festival. We've since moved it to the fall instead. So come on out. We'll be announcing more details as we get closer. And the city is seeking vendors for that event, so contact Community Services and Recreation if you're interested in being a vendor. And so the city would also like to extend our condolences. Over this past weekend, former council member Joy Newbauer passed away, and she was tirelessly a community activist and definitely very active in Westminster and the Westminster Historical Society. And so she had requested that there will not be any services held for her, but that she had wished, her last wish was to, if anyone would like to make a donation to the Westminster Historical Society in her honor, so that her legacy lives on. Checks and money orders can be mailed to the Historical Society. That address is available online. There's also P.O. Box 182, Westminster 92683. So again, the city extends our condolences to the Newbauer family. That's it for my report tonight.
Thank you so much, City Manager. We're special presentation tonight. So, all the communication.
Excuse me, Mayor. Mayor?
Please, Mayor.
I was wondering if City Council would consider, we have a really important agenda item tonight, item 5.2, and the importance of it. I was wondering if council would consider, and we have a pretty packed agenda tonight, if council would consider moving some of the items to the next scheduled meeting. I would make a motion to move forward. Item 5.3 and on.
So there's a motion on the floor from Vice Mayor. Recommend that we, the City Council, we item 3 of 5.3 up to 7 or 2 the next meeting. All right, we have a motion and second.
Let me be clear, the next meeting is September 14th?
Right.
Yes, the next regular meeting is on September 14th, which is, because we have a second meeting in August, previously canceled. The council wishes as well. You may decide at a later point, you're not necessarily tonight, if you want to hear these items, potentially at a special meeting instead. But
yeah, my motion would be if there is a special meeting prior, that we hear these cases at a special meeting.
Okay, so that is what we do. Then we have a motion and second on the floor.
I don't understand something. Okay, so you want to move 5.3 to the next council meeting?
Or a special meeting.
All those. 5.3 to the rest of them.
Okay, so we only hearing 5.2?
Right.
basically everything up to 5.2. So everything 5.3 to 7.2 would be continued to either the regular meeting, or if there is a special meeting in between now and the regular meeting, it would be heard at that special meeting.
I think you should continue to September 14th. If we can hear something sooner, we can put it on there. You can put it on the agenda. That's clear.
Okay, so are we clear on that? Good.
September 14th.
Right. Councilmember Rowe, are you okay with that?
I'll even make a substitute motion to remove 5.4 and the rest to the next calendar. And we'll try to hear 5.3 if we have time tonight. If not, then we have no choice to move it to the next calendar. This is where it's been trailed for so many time already, so that's no motion.
A second, I mean, if there is time, if not, we will move.
What is, how would we, when would you, is there a time limit?
We will do what, right?
So you're saying if we did that by 2 before the minute?
All right, so we have a substitute motion and a second substitute motion on the floor to, I recommend 5.4 to the rest, item, agenda to be, brought to the next meeting, and, item 5.3 will be discussed, aye, am I correct?
That's correct. So to be clear, the motion that's on the floor right now is the substitute motion, and that would be to move item 5.4 and everything beyond that, all the way up until 7.2 to the next meeting. That's the motion on the floor right now.
I do have a comment for that. I believe that, if I read it correctly, I think that, Vice Mayor Manzo wants to make sure that, you know, if we don't discuss item 5.3, which is quarantine monument, then, you know, for those who are here tonight, trying to make comments, you can leave if you wish, because there is no discussion on this item. But if you want to wait until then it's up to you. But I guess that, you know, we have a package in that today, tonight, and then 5.2 is very important.
Yes, Councilmember Lynn, thank you for that. My concern is that 5.2 is extremely important for our city. And if we want to I want us to focus on that because that is a very pressing issue for our community. And we anticipate a lot of comments tonight on that item, and I want to make sure everybody's heard. At the same time, I'm trying to be respectful for the items at 5.3 and 4. That's an important item too, but we may not have enough time for that. That's my concern as well. I want to make sure that all the community is heard, and I don't want to have the community who are speaking on items 5.3 and 4 to speak, and then if we don't get to those items, you know, it's not respectful because then they had spoken and we did not hear those cases. And that's why I want us to move those forward so we hear those cases with all the time that we need to hear those cases, that we anticipate those are going to take a very long time to get through.
City Attorney, I just have a question. Would 5.3 speakers related to that subject, could they wait until we find out if there's more time? We want the 5.2 to go first, that's for sure.
You know, as things presently stand, the 5.3 speakers would go during public comment.
Can I stop on that?
Yeah.
No.
So if you leave that on the agenda, then that would be something that, and even if you take it off the agenda, they still have the right to come and say something.
I see. How many speakers do we have? How many speakers do we
We currently have 52 speakers signed in, and all of our speakers, both present and present.
Realistically, I don't think we're gonna be able to get to
5.3 by midnight. And I know, you know, those of you who come out for the UT monument, you know, you just want, I know you're, you know, we probably have the older folks coming out, and I just want to be respectful to them, letting them know, I'd like to hear you, but it most likely will not get to 5.3. And I agree with Councilmember Alonso that if we mix in 5.2, 5.3 speakers, that's going to further delay. So I want to hear.
Well, you know, it's whether or not we take that off the calendar, we cannot stop the community from public comments. So legally, we cannot do that. But if you try to pull that item from the calendar in hope that to stop the public comments, it's just a waste of time. This might as well leave it on the calendar. Most likely, we won't get to it. We have to allow it.
Are you saying that if we pull from the calendar, they could still speak?
Yes.
So I just want to hear from the city attorney.
Yes.
Yes, of
Even if
course.
we pull 5.3?
Yes.
If you can encourage them and say, you know, the best time would be to come back at the next meeting, but if they decide that they still want to speak, they have that.
So basically, if we decide to refer 5.3 and the rest of the items to the next meeting, so I think that city attorney will make an announcement.
Yeah, we have our
Yes, at least, at least, you know, it's more than welcome to speak, but it's
Okay. Got it, okay.
So we have a motion on the floor for substitute motion to move 5.4 to 7.2 the next meeting, so we need to do it.
So, Councilmember Ho, are you keeping your second for the substitute motion, or are you withdrawing that?
If you're saying that they could still speak even if we pull 5.3, if I heard you clearly, I mean, my purpose is to make room for 5.2, but even if we pull 5.3 and on, the people who want to speak on the QT monument issue could still speak. You said legally they could still come up and speak. So I would second.
Okay, so again, the motion on the floor is to continue items 5.4 to the end of the agenda to the next meeting on September 14th. But this would leave 5.3 and everything before that on the agenda for tonight's meeting.
I'd like to make it clear, that's a substitute motion.
It is a substitute motion. That's the motion you're voting on right now.
Vice Mayor Anderson?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the whole reason I brought that up is I'm trying to be respectful for I understand that we might have a lot of members of the community who want to speak on item 5.3. I just don't want them to be, not have sufficient time for us to hear that case. But we also have a city manager about midnight. At that time, I guess we can motion to, if we haven't got to that part yet, I guess we can motion to end the meeting then. But I'm just trying to be respectful for everybody here.
So I would like to know that if the motion is
No, I'm going to remove it.
Okay, so right now we'll be on this substitute motion, okay? All right, we have a substitute motion on the floor.
Thank you. That motion was made by Councilmember Do, seconded by Councilmember Ho, and that was to move items 5.4 through 7.2 of the agenda to the next meeting to be held on September 14th. Councilmember Do?
Yes.
Councilmember Ho? Yes. Councilmember Nguyen?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Monzo?
Yes.
Mayor Tom?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
So if we could have the interpreter interpret. That 5.4 and beyond is continuing the next meeting.
Hội đồng nhân dân thành phố đã bỏ phiếu để dời cái đề tài từ 5.4 đó là một về cái tài 5.4 cho đến 7.2 nay đến cái lần họp của mình trong lần họp cái chức vụ hội đồng nhân dân thành phố đây, do đó sẽ là ngày 14 tháng 9.
Yes, correct. Yes. Right? I think that's good. Right?
Cái đề bài 5.4 cho đến 7.2 ở trong nghị định ngày hôm nay là cái lần tháng 9 2022, đó là cái lần sắp tới.
That's correct.
Maybe be so kind and say, what is 5.4 for the audience in case they don't know what the 5.4?
Chỉ riêng tài đổ có yêu cầu về thông dịch cái đề tài 5.4 trong nghị định của cái đoạn ngày hôm nay. Cái tài 5.4 đó là cái việc cân nhắc về cái việc phải tái thành lập hay là tái thành lập cái ủy ban để xây dựng lại quản trị ở công viên do Freedom Park.
So basically, the 5.4 item in Vietnamese that I don't impose. Good. I'm sorry, I'm just speaking Vietnamese if you don't mind. So, đề nghị để mà xem xét cho phép ủy ban quản trị Victoria có cái quyền để mà xây dựng tượng đài tại công viên tự do, tức là sẽ thu xếp cái việc xây dựng. Okay.
I wanted to clarify that we are going to discuss 5.4 regardless of reach midnight or not, or we are going to stop at midnight, doesn't matter what.
It was 5.3 that you were going to discuss.
Yes.
If you have time at midnight.
At midnight,
If you want to.
if not, then we stop. Okay.
Thì những cái về đề tài 5.3 thì chỉ có thể bàn thảo về cái đó nếu mà còn có thời gian trước mà làm gì.
Thank you.
Right, so next we have oral communication.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the time of the meeting that members of the public may address the City Council regarding items on or not on the agenda and within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. Each speaker will be allowed 5 minutes to speak. There have been several requests for advanced speaking, so we will begin with those. And then any additional members who have submitted their green speaker cards will continue, and then that will be followed by our Zoom speakers as well. So at this time, I'm going to be calling a couple people at one time so that they're ready, since we do have many speakers. So the first one is going to be John Gentile, followed by Betty Espindola and Debbie Schwabel.
Thank you, Mayor, City Councilman. My name is John Gentile, and I'm a resident of Westminster. I'm here again today to talk about Measure SS, 1% sales tax, and the impact it'll have on our city if E5 elected officials decide not to put it on the November ballot. Several months ago, my family and friends started to take interest in the 1% sales tax. They were all wondering why the City Council had not approved the measure to be placed on the ballot. After all, it wasn't a vote on the measure, it was only a vote to place it on the November ballot. I assured them all they would be fine and to relax. This was a no-brainer. Our City Council had the best interests at heart. Well, month after month, meeting after meeting went by and no vote. It made me think, will our once beautiful, safe, and all-American city turn into Portland, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, or New York City? Will it ever be able to recover from bankruptcy? I remembered as a child looking at orange groves, driving movies, and playing Little League. My only care was playing football with my friends and earning 75 cents to go into a walking movie. I remembered our ex-mayor, Margie Rice, one day dropping off food at her house, and my mother told me that she bought the food from Miss Rice. I later learned the truth, as did my close friends, because they too had received food. Being without never bothered me nor my friends, because we were all happy and safe. Now let's fast forward to 2022. What will our children going to say to their children when they start to reminisce about the city they grew up in? They will all remember the homeless problem, drug abuse problem, mentally ill walking the streets, and the disrespect of our police officers, and of course, Measure SS. They will have to explain to their children that in August of 2022, the mayor and city council had the opportunity to save our city, but chose not to. Some parents will have to explain to their children that their father, mother, brother, sister are no longer with us because without Measure SS, the city was forced to severely cut the police budget, and therefore no one was there to help their loved ones when they called out for help. Our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will also have to expect a life in the city as being victims of robberies, rapes, and assaults. Because without police officers, who else is going to respond to their call? Sure, police will eventually arrive, but they will after our loved ones are victimized. What will our law enforcement officers say to the victims of the family? They could tell them that they will write a report and the detectives will follow up in the near future. But guess what? Without a budget for detectives, there will be no one to investigate the crime. Therefore, there will be no justice for the victim or the family, and our police officers will be wrongfully blamed. See, this is a wide open rabbit hole that only you five can stop. You may not see this as I do, but to me, this measure is one vote that woke me up and may have changed my life forever. This may even be an historical day and an historical vote that changed the direction of our city. If you want to keep your elected seats and move on to other elected positions, I can assure you without a vote yes, just for the Measure SS to be placed on the November ballot, it will diminish your chance of ever being re-elected to any office. Look into the audience. They are your voters, they are your neighbors, and they're here tonight to have their voices heard. I believe everyone should be heard and respected regardless of their opinion or their voting preference. I'm for the First Amendment, as I am for the entire Constitution, but our vote on this issue should not outweigh the voice of the people you serve. If you are against Measure SS, then by all means vote no on November 8th, but not today. Today, give the people a voice. Vote yes on placing a measure on the ballot and put this to rest. Councilmember Doe, once again, I'm still personally counting on you as a brother in law enforcement and leader to make this happen. Thank you very much.
City Council members for allowing me to voice my opinion on Measure SS, the 1% sales tax. My name is Betty Espindola, and I am a 50-year resident of Westminster and a registered voter. I'm strongly urging all five of you to vote yes to place Measure SS on the November ballot. Do what's right for the people who elected you into office. Thank you.
Debbie Schwabel, followed by Deborah Mariscal and Annie Wright.
Good evening, Mayor Todd, Vice Mayor Manzo, Council, City, and staff members. My name is Debbie Schwabel, and I am a resident of Westminster. I was talking to a friend of mine who mentioned that it seems the same 10 people attend the council meetings and the same 10 people speak at council meetings. So please, tonight, consider me number 11. In 2020, myself and a friend, Johnny, spearheaded a booth at the ABC Market parking lot on Bolsa. It was a political booth. We were able to register thousands of Vietnamese people. Many had lived in the U.S. for a long time but had never voted. I saw tears of great joy and pride as they handed me their voter registration cards. Every Monday, I personally delivered these cards to the Register of Voters office, promising them that their votes would be secret, that their information would not be shared, and that they would have opportunity in the future to vote on other elections. I am here tonight to express my opinion on the right to have Measure S put on the ballot. I ask that the council allow the citizens to vote on Measure SS in the November election. Council members, if you have voted no or abstained from expressing your opinion, please reconsider a yes vote. To continue to delay or deny us the right to vote on something that directly impacts us is cause for concern. What is your reasoning? We are at the 11th hour and a decision must be made. Please have the integrity to let the people vote. Please do not disappoint those who I registered and spent hours and hours helping, translating, sitting in the hot sun, speaking to these people, and admiring their patriotism. Too many of our rights have been taken away already. Let's not lose with this one. Listen to your people. Let us vote. I would like to speak to the Vietnamese people who are here or listening on Zoom. If you had anything to do with me or the people at the booth on Bolsa, you trusted me then, you trusted the people that were there then. Trust me now. Putting Measure SS on the ballot does not raise your tax. It gives us the opportunity for us to vote, to campaign for it or against it. Final thoughts for the council. This coming November on Election Day, how do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be a council member who listened to and trusted their people and allowed them to vote, or a council member who didn't trust their voters? The people voted and trusted you to run the city. Now it's your turn to trust them with this important vote. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, Chief, police officers, residents. I want to start out by thanking the Public Works folks for cleaning up Beach Boulevard this morning when I was out walking my dogs. On the east side, by the 76 station, there is a empty lot that was hit by a car a while back. Glass everywhere. I probably should have reported it, but I didn't. But anyway, talked to the guys, they went over and cleaned it up. Good job. Now let's go on to city business. Oh, and I think I'm one of the 10. I have a Vietnamese longtime friend who's working in the city of Santa Fe Springs as a senior construction inspector. And we talk about Westminster issues. We get together once a week at my synagogue. He doesn't want to live here and tries to encourage us to move, but my husband won't. Anyway, in speaking about his job responsibilities, he summed it up with these two things, which I would like to share with you. One, and I'm quoting, I am responsible to make sure projects in this city are safe for the residents. Two, I'm responsible for the money that is spent out on these projects. If I mess up on either one of these two things, I can get fired, unquote. So this shouldn't be that difficult, should it? For the five of you, are you putting the safety and the welfare of the residents of Westminster as your priority? Are you looking out for the financial stability of Westminster? I've attended many, many city council meetings, and sadly I've seen more infighting between you and wasting of time for you to staff and the residents of Westminster. It needs to stop. Time to set your personal agenda aside and let us vote. I'm not done yet. I'm aware a great deal of time has been spent during the last year at the Quan Tri Monument. I've been asking some 20, 30, 40-year-old folks, what's the importance of monuments to you? Not just this one, Confederate monuments, George Washington monuments just in general. And what do they say? It's not important to them at all. Why? Because they were not directly affected by those wars. So my brothers, my high school friends, some of my friends at my synagogue lost their lives in the Vietnam War, and I completely understand why people would want to have a monument to honor them. But is it important to all of the residents of Westminster? You know, if you want it, they should have it, absolutely. Private property. I do not want to lose 1 inch of our park space anymore. We don't have enough as it is. Not 1 penny of our tax money should go to the maintenance and the liability of this monument. We already have a very nice monument in the Sid Goldstein, nice Jewish name, by the way, park. That's enough. Put it on private property, put it in the Westminster Memorial Park, or drop it off the Huntington Beach Pier. It has no place here on public land. Let us vote.
Next speaker is Annie Wright, followed by Tim Colgan and Jessica Rostanel.
Good evening, my name is Annie Bone Wright. I remember Vietnamese Americans everywhere in the U.S. celebrated when Westminster became the first city in the nation with a Vietnamese American majority. We were so proud that finally the voices of the Vietnamese community would be heard. 4 years later, this city is facing bankruptcy. Every council member here, when you run for office, you talk about public trust and accountability. Don't breach the public trust by refusing to put this measure on the ballot so that the residents of this city can decide for themselves how they're going to rescue their own city. They're not asking you to raise taxes. They're asking for you to put it on the ballot so that they have an opportunity to vote on it themselves. Council Member Kimberly Ho and Vice Mayor Mansell, I would like to thank you for publicly supporting the tax measure and educating your constituents about it. What I would like to see is that you vote tonight to actually put it on the ballot no matter what. And for the rest of the council members, this will be your legacy if you don't do the same. That the elected officials with a Vietnamese American majority will let their city face bankruptcy. So I'm asking that you do the right thing. You did not, this may not have been a crisis of your creation, but it is your duty to do everything that you can to help fix it. So please, I ask that you put this measure on the ballot and let the people of Westminster vote. Thank you.
Mayor Todd, council members, city staff. Good evening. My name is Tim Hogan. I'm a resident of Westminster. I rise again to ask that you place the tax measure on the November ballot. Congratulations. Kudos to you all. In a nation riven with division, this council has created an issue everyone supports. Be they conservative, liberal, east side or west, the comfortable or the afflicted, all have a stake and all overwhelmingly support maintaining, even building upon what we have, in an effort to revitalize our once healthy city. I trust you will not disappoint. For whatever your tea leaves and internal polls may be telling you that bankruptcy is a winning issue, there are people lined up tonight 6 deep to tell you it is not. For let us make no mistake, a no vote will not simply deny citizens the right to decide our fate. Those who vote no will will indeed be voting yes for untold chaos and misery citywide. Yes to pink slips and service reductions. Yes to untold blight covered with gang graffiti. Yes to ever more homeless defecating in our streets and parks. And woe to those who seek to avoid sin by abstaining. The hour calls for bold, decisive action, not faint-hearted cowardice. All eyes are upon you, and every heart will remember those who stood for us, and each mind will mark those who failed. So let us boldly go forth. Let us take the first step to build a monument for everyone in our city, a living, breathing edifice made for the hopes and dreams of every citizen and dedicated to the welfare and well-being of us all. Let us build a monument to the future, so our children will indeed count themselves blessed to have lived in a city with adults who care. Put the tax measure on the ballot. Let the people decide.
Good evening, Jessica Lostenow. I'm a resident of Westminster, and I'm here to speak on item 5.2, tax measure. Over the past year, I've talked with residents all over Westminster about the tax measure. The facts surrounding our city's history and our financial outlook illustrate the need to extend the sales tax. Inevitably, I get asked, why won't the council let us vote? Unfortunately, some of you believe that a yes vote on allowing the residents to vote could negatively hurt your prospects at the ballot box in November, when in fact it's quite the opposite. This is not a zero-sum game. This could be a win-win. Everyone speaking tonight is a voter, and trust me, we vote. On top of that, we're all active in our respective communities, and people look to us for input on who to vote for. As a matter of fact, I either voted for each of you or I fought for each of you, and in some cases I did both. Mayor Todd, I voted for you twice because I believe that you were the candidate that had the most wisdom. Vice Mayor Manzo, I fought for you because you had the most common sense. Councilmember Hope, I fought for you, and I even voted for you once because I thought you could bring financial stability with your business background. Councilmember Nguyen, I voted for you because we've had these conversations. I truly believed, and I still believe, that you have the community's best interest at heart all the time. You're always putting the community first. Councilmember Dell, I voted for you because I trusted you. I voted for you because I believe that you were the person that would always fight for the little guy, the champion of the underdog. And most importantly, you weren't a politician. So when we passed our ballots, we didn't think we were voting for council members that may put their political interest above the well-being of the residents in this city. We didn't think that we were going to be voting for people who would abstain, which is, let's admit, a no vote, on really important critical votes. And we didn't think we were voting for people who would risk public safety for an endorsement. Most importantly, none of us thought we would be voting for people who would take away our right to vote on important issues that affect our daily lives. So I'm asking, please allow the qualified voters of this city for a chance to vote on this tax measure. Show us that we elected the right leaders. I still believe in local government, and I still believe in you. Thank you very much.
The next speaker is Joe Dominguez, followed by Tony Lamb.
I may or may not be one of the 10, but I know you all know exactly who I am. My presence is never missed. Tonight I will be a few words because I feel like I've been here in 2016, I was here in 2020, and yet here I am again. This is about my fifth speech, trying to understand why you would deny us democracy, why you would deny us a vote, why you simply can't put a ballot measure out there for us to vote on to save our own city. Tonight is personal. So I'm just going to talk to that camera up there, because I don't know if you're going to listen, but I know the people behind me are going to listen, and the people on Zoom are going to listen. I was born here just a few years after the city was incorporated. When I was old enough to buy my first home, I made the investment here. That investment still stands today. My husband and I thought that we were going to retire in this city. We will not be retiring based on the fact that we don't have a council that won't give us the right to vote. We're going to lose our largest investment because what we'll end up with is a blighted city. And I've seen blighted cities, and I don't want to be that blighted city. It's personal because today in this room, I can tell you that my very first meeting was with Margie Rice and the chief of police, Cook. And I think I could name at least 3 people that might have been around when Cook was here. I believe Upstill is in the room. I believe Weber is in the room. His father was probably here when Cook was here. Nowadays, McCormick, I'm not sure if you're old enough, so I'm just going to leave that. And Vicky. He's old enough. And then Vicky from Code Enforcement. These are all names that when I pick up the phone, I get action. So I live right across the street here, and we have problems with the skateboard park, we have problems with graffiti, we've had shootings. I've had drug houses, meth houses, and even, sadly, the other night, I guess I'm going to make the police blotter, chief, I'm sorry. 1:45 in the morning, we had a noise complaint, and his officer showed up on the 3rd call and finally got them to shut it down. I had to go to work the next day. It was a Monday night. But I can call these people by name and I can know what's happening, and I can get a response. And right now what's going to happen is I'm going to lose all that. So we're going to cut our police force down to what, by 33% of the current staffing? We've been through this. I fought for this. So tonight, what I expect from you? I expect to hear that you're going to put the tax measure on the ballot. I hear that there's going to be no sunset on it. Because if you don't, that 1.5% that's up for grabs, if you don't put it there, you know darn well that some California agency is going to pick that up and we're not going to get local control. So if you don't understand, citizen, there's always 2% out in the blue yonder that the state can pick up on out of our tax money. They've already taken 0.5% of it, so there's only 1.5 left. If they allow this tax measure to sunset, any California agency can now pick it up and take it. And believe me, that will leave us no local control. I don't understand why you've even bothered to put your names on the ballot to run for mayor for a city that's bankrupt. That makes absolutely no sense. I don't understand why you have measures for monuments that we would be responsible for at least $7,000 a year in upkeep and maintenance that we've heard. You're not going to have $7,000. You can't even afford your police department. Who do you think is going to clean that up? And I'm just going to close tonight, and this is so appropriate. Thank you for the prayer to find the guidance and the wisdom to serve the people of Westminster. I really appreciate that you added that. Silently, I added to that prayer, saying that I wish that you would have the guidance and the wisdom to allow democracy, for which you were voted for, put into office for by these people. And that is my prayer that I had to add myself. And I don't want to be here again. So I'm going to close tonight understanding that my prayer will be answered, and that I will have a city that exists for my husband and I to retire in a home that we will not be forced to sell due to blight and no police department. Thank you.
Connie Lamb. Thank you. Chelsea Fun.
Good evening. My name is Chelsea Herman. I'm sorry. Let me speak in Vietnamese language first. Tôi
tên là Chelsea Phạm. Tôi tên là Chelsea Phạm, hơn 10 năm cư dân ở thành phố Westminster. Tôi thấy thành phố có rất nhiều cải tiến, nhiều hoạt động cho tất cả mọi người ở mọi lứa tuổi, đặc
Can I
biệt
just
là
interrupt you really quickly?
đấu tranh với tội phạm. No, after that, I will be in my English.
Yeah, but you will get double, you have double the time if the translator does that.
Oh no, my speech only 3 minutes.
Okay, all right, then go ahead.
Okay. Đặc biệt là đấu tranh với tội phạm, bảo vệ an ninh hữu hiệu của cảnh sát ở thành phố Westminster. Tất cả là nhờ vào dự luật SS. Nay dự luật này sắp hết hạn, tôi muốn duy trì cái dự luật này. Tôi thỉnh cầu các ông bà ghi dự luật SS này vào trong cái phiếu bầu của tháng 11. Các ông bà là người tôi tin cậy, là người tôi đã bầu và sắp bầu để ra đại diện cho tôi. Sau đó xin lắng nghe lời nguyện vọng của tôi. Hi, my name is Chelsea Phạm. I have lived in city of Westminster more than 10 years. I acknowledge that city has a lot to improve activity for the project, especially for the police, the fighting crime, promoting safety, working hard. So all the activities exist due to Measure SS. I would like to continue this measure. Dear ladies and gentlemen of City Council, please placing this measure on the ballot in November. You are the people who I voted and I will vote to represent for me. Please listen to my wish. Thank you for listening.
The next speakers are Mike Wells, Rosie Perez, Jared Kent.
Fire Cecil.
Mike Wells. Okay, Chris Don.
Good evening. My name is Mike Wells. Thank you for hearing this today. I'll talk about Measure SS. The fact that this is going on, as long as it has, shows that you don't trust us, so why should we trust you? We voted for you. We voted for you to make the choice for us. Your job is just to give us. Be our voice and to give us our voice. And right now, you're not giving us our voice. So how is this accomplished? How is this the all-American city? It's not. It says it on the street, all-American city, but this isn't it. If you're not going to give us our voice, that's all you have to do. I served in the military. I did 5 years in the Marine Corps to defend this country, and you're not going to give me my voice? How dare you? Why would you do that? It's a very simple task. You vote to give us a voice. That's it. And you're refusing to do that. At what point do we have to prove to you that you need to give us our voice? When? The answer is at the voting box. Because you answer to us. You serve us. We don't serve you. You're not leaders if you're not going to give us our voice and do the job we hired you to do. That's what we do. I work in public service as well. Not in the city, but I work in public service. And I do my job because I swore an oath to do my job. Just like you did. But you're now violating that oath. So we can't trust you, and you don't trust us. So remember that when we actually vote next time. Because we're not going to vote for you. We're going to put somebody else in. If that has to be me, then that has to be me. But I'm not going to vote for you. Do your job and put it on the ballot. That's all you're doing. If you think you're voting for some political hearing or political backing to go further up the chain, you're placing yourself above us. Why would you push yourself above us when we voted for you? Think about it. Thank you very much.
Mayor, member of the council, I want to thank you for your time today. I'm currently an employee of the Westminster Police Department and currently working as the homeless liaison officer. I wanted to stress the importance of allowing the citizens to vote on the sales tax measure this year. Without allowing them the opportunity to vote, you're taking away their ability to take part in the democratic process. Further, allow the people to decide rather than unilaterally deciding for them, we could see some major changes in how I personally do my job as a homeless liaison officer. Moreover, it would impact the team that I work closely with to help facilitate the city's needs as it pertains to cleanup, reducing homelessness, and partnering with resource groups like Love Westminster. Due to the passage of Measure SS in 2016, the city of Westminster has been able to do a lot of good, like addressing the homelessness issue within the city boundaries. Due to the increasing number of homeless, since 2014, the city recognized that something needed to be done. With the additional tax revenue, the city was able to create a program that addresses homelessness and blight. Homeless Liaison Officer Program has existed for over 4 years at WPD and went from one part-time employee, one part-time HLO to 2 full-time HLOs with a part-time community service officer. While the city and WPD grew the HLO program to where it is today, they also recognize the importance of blight within the city limits. At the same time the HLO program was created, the city also created the Community Preservation Unit. Since the Community Preservation Unit was established, they've been working with me hand in hand, reducing homelessness and CP has helped me conduct 76 homeless outreach events. They help collect over 410 shopping, and they conduct approximately 56 trash.
My name is Jared Kent. I'm a sergeant of the Westminster Police Department, former United States Marine, and a member of this community. Let me be very clear. I love this city. I love this city. I grew up in the city of Westminster, lived in the university track, played basketball, less Sacrament, frequented the malls, worked my mechanic shop, eventually became a police officer here. To this day, my family and I are still part of this community. Over the past 14 years as a police officer and a community member, I have witnessed trends, mostly caused by the state's legislative actions. These trends include uptick in crime, violence, homelessness, a reduction in Westminster police personnel, and a massive increase in public expectations of law enforcement. Some of these expectations include police officers acting as social workers, as caretakers of the homeless, implementation of social experiments, and removal of tools and techniques simply based on their perception rather than effectiveness. All of this and more, while all support help from the community grow each and every year. Our department consists of hard-working, family-oriented people, mothers, fathers, sons, daughters. I myself am the sole provider for a family of 5, as well as supporting my parents, who gave me the opportunity to be where I am today. There's another WPD employee who works 2 other part-time jobs just to support her family. These examples can go on
The ability of our people to support this community in a law enforcement capacity is deemed affected by this tax measure. Shortages in staffing, significant wage gap placing many of the city's personnel at pay rates well below the county median. All this is leading to incredible difficulty for the people to support their families and the community, and creates financial uncertainty. People's safety and livelihoods are literally at stake. By not extending this tax measure, placing it on the ballot, you're effectively defunding the police department. Therefore, it is vital we extend this tax measure to include adding that extra 0.5%. We as a police and city work tirelessly to support this community, and as a result, we know the community supports us as well. Behind me is a shrine. It says, dedicated to freedom, right? Freedom Shrine. Please do not deny your residents the freedom to vote for themselves if they want to extend this tax measure. I humbly ask you to vote yes tonight, to place this measure on the ballot and let the people decide themselves. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members. My name is Kyle Seesaw. I'm the President of the Westminster Police Officers Association and member of this department for over 20 years. I am here tonight on behalf of the almost 200 members in which I serve. Many of the members and their families are here in attendance. Others were unable to be here due to the fact that this line of work requires round-the-clock coverage to keep the citizens of Westminster safe. I am here tonight to express concern over the looming expiration of the tax measure. I request that this council vote to place this topic on the ballot for the residents to be heard. The residents should be allowed to make the decision as it is their safety that is on the line. Members of our police department work tirelessly to ensure the safety of the community which we police. We do more with less on an ongoing basis. We will continue to do so with pride and integrity. However, it is concerning how many police officers and professional staff we have lost over the past several years to other more stable environments. The top concern of each member leaving was the lack of stability due to the expiring tax measure. Westminster Police Department and other city departments are all understaffed. The city as a whole cannot afford to lose any more experienced professionals. The cost of recruiting, hiring, training, and mandates associated with shortages over the last few years has been hundreds of thousands of dollars. Our community and employees who serve the city deserve better. Losing experienced staff directly affects the safety of our city. Please do the right thing and place the needed tax measure on the ballot without further delays or reservations. We cannot afford to allow another quarter to go by which would lose us millions of dollars. I have met with, spoke with, and worked with all of you on a personal level at some point. I know that all of you want what was best for the city and our community. I pray that you do not let personal or political agendas interfere with making the right decision and properly funding the much needed city resources for our community. I urge you to move forward with the continuance of our tax measure for the safety and well-being of our community and staff. Thank you.
Chris Vaughn, Buddy Brown, and Alan Yoshida.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council members. My name is Christopher Doan, and I am a police officer with the Westminster Police Department, and here today representing the POA. As you have heard, the City of Westminster operates on funds received from the 1-cent sales tax. That sales tax ends on January 1st, 2023. We are asking the City Council to please let the voters decide whether the essential sales tax should continue. The city will not only be able to operate minimally if the tax is not passed. Essential services will be drastically cut, including police, fire, and other city services. This would include layoffs of 1/3 of our city staff. The City of Westminster has some of the lowest taxes in Orange County, which is not sustainable to effectively run city government. Most other Orange County cities, including our neighboring cities, have tax measures in place to help them run city government and maintain public safety. Officers are afraid of the city's financial instability and lack of decision-making by city council to address this major issue. In a time of growing crime and a shortage or availability of police officers, we have many testing with outside agencies. If you do not vote to extend the tax measure, we will be looking at a mass exit from our officers and other employees. Please do not let the elimination or lapse of this tax measure affect your safety and all other city services. A no or abstaining vote would show your community and city employees that they do not matter to you and you are risking their safety. An abstention is a no vote and is absolutely unacceptable. We need to put an end to the looming stress and safety risks to our community that this expiring tax measure has created to so many city employees and citizens. If you are truly about making Westminster a safe city, we need you to pull together and pass this ballot measure with the 5-0 yes vote. Trong tới đây là hỏi mayor với mỗi người trong city council dành cho mỗi người mà ở chỉ làm việc trong thành phố Westminster đi vào cho cái vụ tax. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council members, and citizens of the City of Westminster. My name is Buddy Brown. I am a director for the Orange County Professional Firefighters Association, and I'm here to represent over 1,100 firefighters that serve this county and this city of Westminster. I have roots here too. My wife was born here. She was raised here. She graduated from high school here, and she continues to work as a public servant in this city. I'm here to support and implore you to put this measure on the ballot. You guys were elected by the 90,000+ people that live in this city. You trusted them when they elected you to office. It astonishes me that you're considering not trusting them to decide on whether or not they want this tax measure and whether or not they want their services cut. You guys have a budget, a backup budget plan called the Doomsday Budget. That's what it's referred to. It's your plan if this measure doesn't pass, where you're going to cut 1/3 of police services. You're talking about closing a fire station. What fire station are you going to close? Which citizens are going to be okay losing a fire station near their house when their children are at school? That's the war. You have a duty to allow your citizens to speak. You got the All-America City Award in 1996. One of the metrics used to get that award, you're the only one on the West Coast to get it. It was excellence in your police service, and the service that their gang units provided in this city in reducing gang violence. So please, you have an opportunity to do the right thing. The 90,000+ people of this city have a right to be heard, and you have no right to take their voice from them. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Todd, Vice Mayor Monzo, council members, city staff, and community members. Many of you have seen me up there in the past, speaking on various different issues, representing the police department. I spent almost half my life, nearly 25 years, in a career I adore, serving the citizens of this city and trying to have a positive impact on the lives of its citizens. I've dedicated myself to keeping this community safe and improving their quality of life. In my career, I have been through good times and bad, and have nothing but gratitude for the opportunities this city has afforded me. An opportunity to serve, and a means with which to provide for my family. Like many of my fellow co-workers here tonight, I am concerned. Concerned about our ability to provide critical public safety services to the Westminster community. A community I love and care deeply about. The extension of Measure SS is absolutely essential to the fiscal health of this city and its continued ability to offer these critical services to its citizens. Without its funding, public safety will be irrevocably impacted. I, like my coworkers representing here tonight, want to serve, want to provide safety, want to provide peace of mind to the community so that they may sleep well at night, confident that we will always be there in their time of need. Holding that line so they and their families can live and grow in safety. Measure SS is more than a ballot measure. It is a commitment. A commitment to the community, a commitment to service. It represents the lives and well-beings of every citizen and every employee. I am nearing the end of my career, and I selfishly want those who will follow me, the next generation of public servants, to enjoy the satisfaction of a long and impactful career. I want them to be able to have a career filled with purpose and meaning, knowing they have made a positive difference in the lives of the community we have dedicated our lives to serve. A career I've been blessed and privileged to experience. Without an extension of Measure SS, this future is in jeopardy. The safety of our community is in jeopardy. Please place Measure SS on the ballot and reaffirm your commitment to the community. Reaffirm your commitment to service. Thank you.
Next speaker is Kim Springer, followed by Pam Herman and Victoria.
My name is Kim Springer, and I've been a resident of Westminster for the past 32 years. It truly saddens me to know our city is headed for a possible bankruptcy. It confuses me that a monument that will add extra expense to the city is more important than our police department if the sales tax measure sunset on 12/31. The past several city council meetings have focused a majority of time on the placement of a monument, which is absolutely ridiculous when we have a much bigger problem. You were elected by the people to represent all the residents of Westminster, not just a select population. From my understanding, there's a very good solution to the placement of a monument at Westminster Mortuary that would enable the city to deflect any costs associated with its maintenance and liability. And you are allowing this population to dictate another location that creates exposure to the city that we can't afford. This matter should be the least of your worries, as you have a solid solution. That being said, your focus should be on the strategic plan goal presented by the financial department on March 14th, wherein the number one goal was to achieve financial stability by renewing Measure SS. As we all know, the world has become a hard place to live, and our police department is essential in keeping our city safe. As I have said before, the past 2 years, we have seen a rise in crime and homelessness. In my neighborhood alone, we've had 2 slap houses raided, stolen catalytic converters, car break-ins, hit and runs, a stabbing which resulted in a murder at the 76 station. That's just to name a few. The police department is more important than ever. This is not the time to cut their budget in staff. I implore you to reinstate the tax measure on the ballot and let the people vote. Please don't allow this measure to sunset without the opportunity for the people to have their say. Thank you.
My name is Pam Grimley, resident of Westminster for 42 years. Knowing the dilemma the city is in and the tough decisions you have to make in regards to the tax measure and the fate of this beloved city, I'm just concerned why a monument is more important to you than the crisis of our city. The past several meetings have been about this monument as our city inches its way into bankruptcy. The solution is simple. We, the people, request the council to reinstate the tax measure on the ballot so we, the people, can decide the fate of our city. Once the ballot is in place, you can vote however you please. You can hold a press conference showing you marking no on the ballot. That's your choice. But let the people have a choice as well. One of my favorite scriptures is Matthew 6:21. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Before you give someone your heart, you must determine the condition of theirs. To determine the condition of a person's heart, you must locate their values and passions. Where is your heart? Do you store up treasures of fame, popularity, climbing the political or corporate ladder? Or do you have a servant's heart filled with compassion, honesty, morals? Something to think about. Thank you.
Victoria, followed by Roger Nathan and Hillary Wong.
Tôi muốn là tất cả những người dân Mỹ yêu nước mà dù là đảng Cộng hòa hay Dân chủ đều vote cho thị trưởng chứ nào.
I want all of the people, whether they are Democrat or Republican, to vote for the HĐTP.
Để cứu lý nước Mỹ này và cứu lý thành phố Westminster khi thị trưởng còn đang làm thị trưởng.
So that he can save the city and save America while he is still the mayor of the city of Westminster.
Và tôi xin góp ý là thị trưởng phải dũng cảm lên, đừng có hiền thì ra hèn. Mà nếu mà mình hiền mà ra hèn thì tự nhiên mình trở thành ra đồng lõa với tụi ác.
I want to ask the mayor to be courageous, don't be a coward. If you're a coward,
Và đồng lõa với tụi ác phá hoại nước Mỹ này, và tôi có cái ý kiến là xin được qua cái hội đồng, xin được kính tri ân nhân viên cảnh sát tại đỗ, kế tiếp là nhân viên Metro Carlos và phó thị trưởng, cục phó thị trưởng và nhân viên General đã dũng cảm góp ý vì sai trái của đồng Việt để mà chúng ta bảo vệ lấy cái thành phố Westminster này.
I would like to thank our city council member, HĐ, former Vice Mayor Kipalimo, and Vice Mayor Manzo for your willingness to criticize your fellow council member when they're wrong. So the city can be safe.
Trước đây và tại đây tôi xin được tri ân quý cựu chiến binh Mỹ đã luôn luôn cùng với lại tất cả người dân Mỹ tại Westminster này để bảo vệ lấy cái Westminster.
And I would like to thank the former American service member. I would like to thank you for trying to save the city. Xin cô hãy khi cô phát biểu cho lại ý không phải là cái gì
và tôi xin thị trưởng xem xét lại cái tội ác mà khi tôi đi vote thì tôi mặc đồ như vậy mà tôi bị cái ban bầu cử của cái đảng Dân chủ tội đồ mà không có bị tại Westminster này bắt tôi phải lột hết quần áo ra và không cho tôi vote và cướp những cái quyền làm người của tôi. Mình chính là cảnh sát nhân viên tại đỗ đã kịp thời một lần thôi, cái lần mà cô cái tên là Wilson đó, và cái kế tiếp nữa là cái cầu kỳ bầu cử mới của kỳ là nhân viên cục phó thị trưởng General đã kịp thời cùng với lại cảnh sát và FBI đã kịp thời tới để ngăn chặn cái tội ác, đã bắt cô phải cởi hết quần áo kiểu như vậy này.
time to speak.
Yeah.
We're doing lots of conversation out there.
And I would like to thank City Council Member Heidel for coming to my rescue in time because I was trying to vote. I was dressing like this, and if I was with me, they were not allowed to dress like this and to vote. And again, I would like to thank the police for coming to my rescue as well. I'd like also to thank former mayor, former vice mayor, Kimberly Hall for coming to my rescue in time to prevent all this crime from happening.
Và cái tội ác nữa là thị trưởng phải quan tâm là mới vừa rồi là giám sát viên Angie Đỗ và đã tự nhiên lợi dụng cái quyền để mà tự nhiên cái họp báo một cách bất thình lình giống như FBI mà xông vô Malago để mà coi như là bố ráp cùng mà hiện nay đang là tổng thống 47 rồi ra trong đó. Tự nhiên cái họp báo xong rồi cái đề cử một cái người nào làm cố vấn gì đó ở trong cái nhiệm vụ đó là nhiệm vụ cảnh sát mà tự nhiên là lấy tiền thuế của chúng tôi mà đi trả tiền lương cho những người đó không chấp nhận, phải lấy tiền túi của anh Di Đỗ và cái người mà luật sư gì Trần Thế Năng gì đó, mà nếu mà muốn giúp đỡ gì về an ninh gì đó miễn phí thì rất là ok, rất là tán thành và rất là tri ân. Còn nếu lấy tiền thuế của người dân Mỹ để mà đi trả lương cho những cái việc mà không đáng cần thiết phải xảy ra thì không nên. Hãy tiết kiệm tiền thuế của dân.
I would like to thank you for preventing crime from happening, such as in the case of the FBI or coming into Mar-a-Lago and violating the right of President number 45 and 47, and also I would talk about Andrew Dole for calling a special or urgent meeting using taxpayers' money. I don't know where the taxpayers' money was, who that taxpayers' money was paid, or retained, or 30 band grants.
Và cuối cùng là tôi chỉ muốn nói rằng xin rất là tự hào nếu tôi được vote cho mà chúng tôi những người yêu nước ngay tại Westminster này có được một thị trưởng như là cảnh sát nhân viên Tài Đỗ là người mà coi như là vừa là cảnh sát mà lại vừa là coi như có kinh nghiệm và coi như là dám là coi như dũng cảm để góp ý để mà coi như cùng nhau chúng ta tiết kiệm giống như là cùng có thị trưởng xe rồi chúng ta tiết kiệm từng xe một thì với người dân để chúng ta bảo vệ người này đã lương cảnh sát chứ không phải là để trả lương cho những gì mà về cái đảng không được.
And I would be so proud to vote for City Council Member Heidel to be the mayor because he's courageous. He's trying to save the city's money, and also he's willing to opine on other council members. I want to use the taxpayers. I want him to use the taxpayers' money to help the city instead of paying for their the action of the benefit action.
Thank you so much. Theo phiên dịch đó hết đi. Và xin được cảm ơn hội đồng và xin ta đi đoàn kết với nhau không nghiệp đảng phái cộng hòa hay dân chủ. Chúng ta phải đi nước Mỹ này trước tiêu nước Mỹ này và những hiện nay là cần phải làm vote cho thì cũng cần để và mình làm đó là nhiệm vụ của chúng ta. Tất cả chúng ta phải dồn về cái việc là vì nước Mỹ trên hết và vì cứu lý Westminster này đừng chia rẽ đánh phái nhau để chúng ta siết lẫn nhau để cho cộng sản khủng bố về tổng cộng nó thoải mái thoái giá nó siết những người siết chúng ta và chúng ta phải vote cho một tổng thống lên 45, 47 theo đúng luật pháp để phát triển.
President number 45 also 47.
Trong đây tất cả số mình các lớp Manso là một người rất là tuyệt vời vì không hiểu tiếng Việt mà khi mà đến tượng đài Đức Thánh Trần đã lắng nghe tiếng nói nguyện vọng của người dân Mỹ. Xin được chia.
And so I would also thank Vice Mayor Mandel. Even though he doesn't speak Vietnamese, he was willing to come to the memorial and listen
cảnh sát Westminster tuyệt vời của chúng tôi. Cảm ơn ban thư ký đã giúp đỡ. Followed by Ryan Nguyen.
Người xác thực kế tiếp là Hillary Hoàng.
Xin chào buổi tối đến ông trưởng, phó thị trưởng và các nghị viên của trong ban ngành của thành phố Westminster.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and the entire city council member.
nên phải được đặt ở nơi trang nghiêm, có biểu tượng lịch sử để mọi người cùng chiêm ngưỡng.
The concrete monument have significant artistic value, and because of that, need to be placed at a place that is solemn, that has historical value as well.
Và thường xuyên được mọi người đến thăm viếng để được đốt một nén hương tưởng nhớ và tri ân cho người nằm xuống để chúng ta được sống tự do ở đây.
So it needs to be placed at a place where people can come to visit, and also to be in remembrance of the life and loss of the sacrifice that was made so that we could have our freedom for the here.
Cũng là di sản mà thành phố Westminster còn có cả ở HĐTP và vùng phụ cận.
The monument is a heritage for the city of Westminster as well as the residents of nearby city in North County.
Nhưng quý vị làm chúng tôi quá thất vọng và quý vị không có ý để tự đài vào một chỗ quy nghi được tôn kính.
But however, you were disappointed greatly. You have decided not to place the monument at a place that is solemn, that is deserved.
Thưa ông phó thị trưởng, lúc nào ông cũng có cái ý nghĩ là đặt tượng đài ở trong cái nghĩa địa.
Vice Mayor Manzo, you always have this thought, you only have this thing where you want to place the monument at a cemetery.
Xin dám hỏi ông đó là ông có biết lịch sử là gì không?
I would like to ask you whether you know what history is.
Lịch sử là người đi trước. Họ hy sinh để các thế hệ sau này họ hiểu tại sao lại có cái tượng đài ở tại chỗ này.
Simply is the sacrifice made by our forebears, so that later generations can come to find out why we have this monument.
Còn nghĩa trang á, là cái nơi mà để cho những người lúc còn việc làm việc, lúc có quyền có thế thì họ không làm gì cho đất nước lợi danh cả.
But cemetery is reserved for those when they were in power, when they were still alive, they did not do anything to benefit their people or their visitors.
Họ sống ích kỷ với người sống và cả người chết. Em họ ra nghĩa trang, không ai biết đến.
They were selfish to both the alive, the living and the dead, and so when they are dead, they are buried in the cemetery and no one knows about them.
Khi họ cần cứu á, thì họ cần dân ủng hộ họ. Họ rất là nice, họ rất là tốt. Nhưng mà khi họ được ý nguyện rồi á, thì họ quay lưng.
So once they need your vote, or the residents' vote, they are all nice in this, but when they obtain what they want, enough of the vote, then they turn their back to the voter.
Họ không có tôn trọng dân, họ không có lắng nghe cái ý kiến, cái nguyện vọng của dân.
They do not respect and do not honor the wishes of the resident of the citizens.
Họ hứa lèo nè, hứa sụt, hứa củi, hứa cho qua việc thôi.
They make bold promise. They make all these promises just so that they could get what they want.
Ngày hôm nay á, tôi đến đây á, là đã nói hết cái ý của tôi. Rất nhiều lần tôi đến đây, nhưng mà không được quý vị cho một cái trả lời xứng đáng.
So I'm here today to tell you, express my wishes. I've been here so many times, but I have never gotten an answer from you.
Thưa quý vị, còn sống thì vẫn còn tranh đấu. Chúng tôi vẫn tranh đấu, vẫn
I will continue to fight so that we would change your mind to allow the monument to be placed at a place that it deserves.
Quý vị có hiểu không? Chúng tôi là những người bỏ phiếu cho quý vị. Chúng tôi lúc nào cũng ủng hộ quý vị. Chúng tôi không có đòi hỏi một cái lý do gì hết. Quý vị cần chúng tôi ủng hộ hết mình. Chúng tôi không bao giờ từ nan, không từ chối.
Please know this. We voted for you. We do everything that you ask of us. We have never supplied anything that you asked of us.
Hôm nay tôi nói đây không phải là dầu quý vị có suy nghĩ lại để quý vị cho đặt tượng đài đúng rõ hay không, đó là quyền của quý vị. Nhưng mà tôi vẫn phải mong rằng quý vị suy nghĩ, và tại vì cuộc đời mình thì ví dụ quý vị không phải tới đây nữa, quý vị còn lên nữa, chúng tôi vẫn lúc nào cũng ủng hộ quý vị. Tôi coi quý vị là để đáng thì chúng tôi lúc nào cũng ủng hộ hết.
You are within your right to decide whether to have the monument places at a particular place. But please know that you will be moving up in your political career, and that we would always be supporting you. Please remember that.
Hôm nay tôi nói chuyện ở đây thì tôi không biết là ông bớt có ở đây không, nhưng mà tôi vẫn phải nói. Tại vì ông bớt tôi không biết là ông có tham gia về những trận đánh ở bên Việt Nam ở Quảng Trị hay không.
I'm here today. I don't know if Bob is here, or I don't know whether he participated in those battles during in the Vietnam War.
Nhưng mà tôi chắc đó là ông không có dự những trận đánh đó. Nhưng ông có quyền đòi hỏi để các bạn ông được vô trong cái để vô cái bia tưởng niệm.
I know for sure that we did not participate in those battles, but he has a right to demand that his fellow service member be included in the monument.
Mỗi lần ông làm khó dễ ủy ban xây dựng tượng đài, họ cũng rất là chiều ông.
He had caused a lot of problems for the committee, for the monument committee, but they have tried to placate and policing.
Nhưng mà bây giờ ông đòi hỏi tôi thấy thì cũng rất là đúng. Nhưng mà tôi không hiểu á, khi mà ông đạt được ý nguyện rồi, ủy ban tượng đài đã làm vừa ý ông rồi, thay đổi, thì ông lại muốn đưa đồng đội của ông ra ngoài nghĩa địa đó. Tôi không hiểu, sao tôi không hiểu là cái ý nghĩa mà ông đòi hỏi là như thế nào, mà ông đưa đồng đội ông ra ngoài nghĩa địa hả?
I believe it's proper for you to demand and ask that the man or the service, the different rank be included in the monument, and you could change your mind, but the committee have agreed to it. They have issued, but once you got what you want, now you want to send your fellow service member to a cemetery.
Ông không có biết tôn trọng họ để họ không có được ở chỗ trang nghiêm. Xin cảm ơn. Ngày hôm nay tôi nói như vậy, quý vị cũng thông cảm, nhưng mà lúc nào quý vị cũng hiểu.
Next speaker is Hollywood. Followed by Westminster.
I would like to address the city council and give me first, my priority, and then have my opinion.
Kính chào thị trưởng tại vị trí Vice Mayor Carlos Manzo,
cùng các quý vị nghị viên in the Nihon join me and Kaido and all the staff in the Westminster. Xây dựng tượng đài tái chế cổ Quảng Trị là một dự án thành phố Westminster. Quý vị là thị trưởng, là nghị viên đã mời chúng tôi, các vị đại diện cho những hội đoàn chính trong cộng đồng mà ở phần quan trọng trong việc quyết định những chi tiết cần thiết cho dự án. Quý vị mời chúng tôi đã hy sinh thời gian, công sức, tài chính để quyên góp, giúp thành phố không có tốn tiền chi tiêu cho dự án. Nếu quý vị yêu mến thành phố và muốn làm việc với nhau để dự án được thành công, xin quý vị làm đủ sức mình để giúp vào công sức chưa? Xin mời quý vị lấy 10 giây suy nghĩ kỹ mình đã làm gì để giúp cho dự án thành công tốt đẹp này. Hay vì làm việc chung và quý vị vì lý do gì đó, một số quý vị ở đây lúc nào cũng tìm cách để giành nhau và kéo dài dự án này. Đây có phải là bộ mặt của thành phố mà quý vị muốn mọi người, những thành phố khác hoặc con cháu sau này nhớ lại những buổi họp không may tốt đẹp hay sao? Hôm nay là một buổi họp rất quan trọng và có lẽ sẽ vào lịch sử và tự làm các chiến của thành Quảng Trị. Xin quý vị nghĩ kỹ và nghĩ vì công việc chung mà hãy cùng nhau chọn một nơi xứng đáng để vinh danh những anh hùng đã đi trước. Nếu như đó là một vị anh hùng của quý vị thì xin quý vị thấy nơi đây đâu là nơi xứng đáng, một nơi công cộng của thành phố mà mọi người có thể tới thăm viếng, hay là một nơi của tư nhân khuất bóng trong một nghĩa trang. Xin hãy suy nghĩ và làm một điều tốt cho cộng đồng và cho thành phố để mình hãy làm một người đã có công giúp cho đại hải chế độ được đặt ở một nơi xứng đáng nghiêm trang tại công viên thành phố. Xin rất cảm ơn tất cả các nghị viên, thị trưởng và Vice President.
The monument is a city project. You, Mayor, and the City Council have asked us, as representatives of the different organizations and communities, to make decisions and to provide detail for the project. You invited us, and we have given you our time, our effort, our money for the project. If you love the city, you should work together to help build the monument. Have you done all that you could to help to build this monument? Please take 10 seconds to think of what you have done to help this project. Instead of working together to build a monument, you, for some reason, always find reasons to drag out this project. Is this infighting, or what things that you want other people to see about our senior infighting? You want our children to remember of all these infighting at these council meetings? Next meeting is significant. If I have my hand up, in historical, I listen to the City of Westminster. I would like to ask that you reconsider your position, to work together, place the monument at a place that is reserved, so that those who have made the sacrifice put a place that is reserved, and that it be placed at a public park instead of a private place, so that people would come visit. Please reconsider and do good for the community and the city so that we will be proud and so that you will be proud that you have helped place the monument at a place that it deserves, and that would be the public park, the city public park. Thank you.
I'm here to represent the Measure SS Oversight Committee, and I would like the whole council to be here in honor of the committee. So please call someone else, and then when the mayor returns, then I'll speak.
The next speaker is Ken Wong.
Good evening, Mayor Chita, Vice Mayor Cormanzo, Councilwoman Kimberly Ho, President Taylor, and President Charlie Chimian, and also our City of Westminster staff. I am Kelly Wang, a resident of Westminster for 40 years, Vice Chairman of the County City Monuments Committee, Head of the Fundraising Subcommittee. Ladies and gentlemen, the model of the monument to the defect of County Citadel has been accepted by County Monument Committee and certified approved by City Council with honest detail and logos of the South Vietnamese and U.S. forces that participates in the campaign to retake Quang Citadel. Through yes votes, with confirmation and promise that the monument will be placed in the city park land. From that approval, our committee began to fundraising process to promptly have sufficient funds to build the monument in accordance with its sacrifice, history, and values. Ladies and gentlemen, the fundraising was increased favorable because the Republic of Vietnam veterans and also U.S. Vietnam War veterans across the states agree that to support and wish that the monument to be the monument the head of the Quang Citadel to be replaced but in the Westminster Memorial Park, not replaced, not be placed in Westminster Memorial Park or on any private land, because those places are not suitable for placing the monument at the property of the city. Very historical significance that fully appreciates the overall value of the architectural art as well as the material that form and build this monument. The monument is to honor and pay tribute to the hero soldier of the Republic of Vietnam, the United States, and the people of Quang who probably sacrificed in the war to retake Quang Citadel in 1972. We work very hard and pay our efforts to do everything you want and ask us to do. So now, we have to do what you promised us. South Vietnamese veteran, American Vietnam War veteran, and fellow community referee community at Westminster and everywhere overseas. Now, we look forward to your vote to accept the placement of the Guangdi Citadel Monument at the city property in the city of Westminster public land, not in Westminster Memorial Park nor private land. Thank you very much. In Vietnamese, kính thưa thị trưởng Trí Tạ, Phó thị trưởng Colomado, nữ nghị viên Kim My Hồ, nghị viên Tài Đỗ, nghị viên Tân Chí Nguyễn và tất cả các nhân viên.
Only 5 minutes?
Yeah, if you're speaking English, 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. If you prefer to translate it, then you get the extra.
Good evening, Council. I'm Diane Carey. I'm the chairwoman of the Measure SS Oversight Committee. The Oversight Committee would like to remind you that the people need to vote on this measure. Now, we know that you have come up with some very good ideas. Some of them are controversial. Previous councils have also come up with ideas, but none of them are going to fill in the $15 to $17 million gap in our budget. You know, when we lost our redevelopment funds, we have heard from the dais that, well, we should live within our means. We cannot live within our means. We are stuck with 1978 values that are giving back to us from the state. The property tax is what I meant to say. It's frozen at 1978 levels. You know, in 1978, I was a young teacher. I was making $9,500 per year. And that's what you're asking us now to live on, because we won't have Measure SS to help with our funding. And, you know, it is just unconscionable that we still have our wonderful city staff on furlough, that our police department is not fully funded. We need you to step up and to please reauthorize the fact that we could vote on Measure SS. You know, people do not understand what bankruptcy means. I mean, I heard this weekend, they think everything's going to be fine. Bankruptcy doesn't defund the police, it gets rid of the police. And that means that we'll be with the sheriff's department, and we won't have a full-service police department. And the same thing with our wonderful employees. So we need you all to step up and put this on the ballot. You know, it's just another thing that was mentioned earlier. I'm going to mention it again. You know, when this sunsets, another agency is going to step in and take that money, and we will not see a penny of it. And my guess is it's going to be the supervisors, and they're going to want to add a sales tax on for homelessness, or it's going to be the OCTA, because Measure M is running out of money. And they'll step up and they will take that money. So, you know, that you are not saving us any additional money. The other thing is that people do not understand, and again, I spoke about it this weekend, and I mentioned it to the council many, many times. You know, if you go into bankruptcy, the county will come in and they will make an assessment on top of our property taxes on what it costs to run the city. So we're going to be paying more just because we had to go into bankruptcy. So we are asking, this should be a 5-0 vote. We are asking you to please support our police department, support our wonderful workers, and most of all, support us. We need you to show the leadership, to vote to let the people decide this measure. And you know, I also serve as a trustee of the Huntington Beach Union High School District. And I would like to say right now, I want to thank the men and women of the police department. We get absolutely outstanding service from them. And yes, let's go defunding the police with these draconian measures, you know, that is not going to help the students of Westminster, whether they're in the high school level or they're in our elementary schools. So again, please, for the sake of our kids and for the sake of all of us, let us vote on this. And you know, the irony on tonight's agenda, on November 7th, you're going to be voting that we honor the victims of Communism Day. Well, I have to tell you, if you do not allow us to vote, we are going to be the victims of communism.
The next speaker is John Doe, followed by Henry Walton.
My name is Henry Minh Quang or Minus.
Bữa nay tôi được nghe tin bất ngờ là có một cuộc họp hội đồng thành phố.
I heard that there would be a city council meeting tonight.
Thì tôi đang trên đường làm việc, tôi không có mặc những quần áo đặc biệt đến đây.
I was working on my own work tonight, so I could not dress properly to be here tonight.
Tôi nói về lịch sử của tôi một chút cho quý vị trong thành phố.
May I talk a little bit about myself first?
Tôi mở văn phòng luật sư với ông Louis Newton Saylor.
I opened my law office with Mr. Louis Newton Saylor,
1994
1994.
để giúp đồng bào tất cả mọi người.
We help our fellow countrymen as well as everyone else.
Tôi là một sinh viên trường theo FBLS.
I was a student at Cal State LA.
Cùng với anh Đỗ Sơn, hội trưởng Đỗ Sơn.
Together with Mr. Sun Do, who is the president of the organization.
Chúng tôi tranh đấu cho quyền lợi của dân tộc Việt Nam.
We fought for the right of the people of Vietnam.
Làm sao cho dân bị nạn ở đất nước Mỹ này được tự do, hạnh phúc, sung sướng.
We were trying to fight for the right as well as the right of the refugee to have freedom in this country, to be happy.
Nghe một cái tin rất buồn
I heard a sad news
là thành phố Westminster đã khai bankruptcy.
that the city of Westminster would be filed into bankruptcy.
Và tôi nghe một vấn đề dư luận
And I heard a rumor
về cái thuế 8.75
about the tax rate, the 8.75 tax rate.
sẽ không được duy trì lên, tức là ngày xưa là 7.75.
That tax rate will not be maintained. I will go back to what it used to be, which were 7.75.
Thì tôi nghĩ đó, thành phố, quý vị và cư dân ở đây phải đồng ý giữ cái duy trì 8.75.
So I think that you need to maintain, well, you as a citizen of the city need to maintain that tax rate of 8.75.
Cái gì thì trật tự an ninh,
so that we could maintain safety and order in the city.
phải giữ cái trật tự police để bảo vệ toàn dân thành phố Westminster và những thành phố lân cận.
We need to keep the police force to maintain safety for not only the city of Westminster but also surrounding the city.
Tất cả gia đình chúng ta đều cần phải có police.
We, as well as all our family, need the police
để bảo vệ chúng ta,
to protect us.
Tôi không muốn những thành phần xuyên tạc là Kimberly tăng thuế thì tôi nghe cái tin tức đó không có biết có đúng không, tại tôi không có theo dõi chính xác. Ví dụ như ngoài cư dân thành phố Westminster nói là Kimberly bị viên tăng thuế.
I don't want to hear people attacking Kimberly Hall because I heard there were rumors out there in the community saying that Kimberly Hall was going to raise taxes in the city. We the Vietnamese need to come together.
Cũng như người Mỹ cư dân ở đây, chúng ta phải đoàn kết nhau để giữ thành phố chúng ta một ngày đường thành.
And just as the city of the citizens and residents of this city, we need to come together to keep the city to be prosperous.
Và an toàn cho thành phố.
And we need to come together to keep the city safe.
Xin quý vị hiểu cho là tôi không tìm một cái văn thư để mà đọc.
Please understand that I did not come with a prepared speech.
Thì tôi biết sao thì tôi nói gì.
I just speak from what I know from the heart.
Kính mong quý vị làm việc ở đây, cư dân Vietnamese hay là người Mỹ hay là người Mẹ cùng nhau đoàn kết xây dựng cái thành phố chúng ta tốt đẹp.
And I wish that I would like to have you, as well as our Vietnamese resident, Caucasian, Mexican, to get together, to come together to help build the city and so that it could be prosperous.
Cái thành phố là đất nước mà khoảng 30 năm.
I have been in the city for at least 30 years.
Tôi biết tất cả chính quyền để đã luật sư làm việc như thế nào.
I know the way the government here works very well in this city.
Tôi không thích những người làm việc có hai chiều. Tức là những người làm việc hai chiều. Hai chiều ý nghĩa là nói một đường làm một đẹp.
I don't like people who speak out both sides of the mouth. They would say one thing and do another.
Có một điều mà tôi nghĩ những dân cử ra đây tôi biết hết, kể cả chàng Thái Dân ngày xưa là một nghị viên thành phố Garden Grove.
I know all of the elected officials here, including Ben Icon, who was a city council member from the city of Garden Grove.
Sau khi ông ta được dân cử, người Việt Nam bầu cử lên dân biểu.
After he was voted by member of the Vietnamese community into office as assemblyman,
chính tôi là người dẫn động giúp Trần Hải Giang đắc cử và nhiều người khác để chúng ta có một Vietnamese đứng ra bảo vệ người Việt Nam.
I and many others have helped to get him elected so that we can have a representative of Vietnamese descent to represent our right.
Trần Thái Dân là một luật sư bình thường mà thôi, chứ không có đặc biệt gì hết.
Dan Trent was just a typical attorney, nothing special about him as an attorney.
Trần Thái Dân không có một tài năng tranh tụng tòa án.
Dan Trent is not a trial attorney.
Yes, I have a question that I think that we should not talk about another person here.
Không, tôi nói về lý lịch mà thôi, chứ không có đại án về ông ta. Tôi rất tin ông ta.
I'm not attacking him. I just want to talk about his background. I like him very much.
Tại vì tôi vận động cho ông ta đắc cử dân biểu là tôi không có một đồng nào hết.
I campaigned and I got him elected, and I did not get a dime, get paid a dime.
Yes, I like to remind one that this is not a forum to campaign.
Cho đây không phải là một cái để ông lên ông để ông đánh.
Không, tôi chỉ nói tại vì tôi cảm thấy là cái thành phố của chúng ta phải thay đổi gì thì tôi nói vậy một số thành phần gì ở ngoài nói nhiều thôi. Nhưng tôi không có đã kích một cá nhân nào.
No, I'm not doing that. I just heard his city might file bankruptcy, and so I just want to talk about the different components of the city. I'm not trying to attack any particular individual.
Cái thành phố mà tôi sống, cái cư dân hay mà thay đổi cái gì đó thành điều đau lòng.
This is a city that I'm a resident that I live in, and if that happened, that would be very sad. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Vita, Vice Mayor Phô Westminster, all the city councils, members, city officers, and our present guests tonight. Tiếp nhà Marcus Julius đã nói, lòng biết ơn không chỉ là đức tính vĩ nhân, vĩ đại nhất, mà còn là khởi nguồn của một đức tính tốt đẹp khác. Thượng đế quản trị sẽ là biểu tượng của lòng ái quốc, tinh thần chiến đấu để bảo vệ tự do, và điều quan trọng nhất là để nói lên lòng biết ơn đến những anh hùng đã bị quốc phong thân.
The philosopher Marcus Julius Cicero said that gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all the others. The Planetary Monument is a symbol of patriotism, of the spirit, of the fighting spirit for freedom, and also a symbol of our gratitude to those who have sacrificed their lives.
Hôm nay tôi muốn nói lên hai điều mà tôi quan tâm.
Tonight, there are two things that I would like to address the council. These are things that concern me.
Điều thứ nhất, thành phố Westminster có 95.000 dân, trong đó là 36.000 là người Mỹ gốc Việt.
First of all, the city of Westminster has about 90,000 residents. Among those, 36,000 are American of Vietnamese descent.
Chiếm 40%.
So they constitute 40% of the population of the city.
Thành phố Westminster có 20 công viên, nhiều công viên có roller skate cho trẻ em, basketball court cho thanh thiếu niên, basketball field cho trẻ em khuyết tật. Người Mỹ gốc Việt có 40% đất công viên, nhưng chúng tôi chỉ dành 2% diện tích hoặc 500 square feet vuông để xây dựng tượng đài, công viên tự do hoặc những công viên của thành phố. Thì có gì không hợp lý mà quý vị dân cử không chấp thuận?
The city of Westminster has more than 20 public parks. skate section, basketball court, baseball field for disabled children. We, Vietnamese American, constitute 40% of the population of the city, but we are only asking for 2% of the public park, approximately 500 square feet, to build a Quang monument. So at Freedom Park, so why would that be so unreasonable that it does not deserve your vote?
Điều thứ nhì, trong buổi họp mấy tháng trước đã có người đứng tại đây nói buông lực Việt Nam Cộng hòa hạng nhất. Tôi xin chứng minh là họ sai.
The second thing is during in a meeting a few months ago, there was a person who addressed the council said that the Army of the Republic of South Vietnam was a coward army. I would like to, without giving any reason, I would like to show that that person was wrong.
Trong 20 năm chiến tranh 1955-1975, quân lực Việt Nam Cộng hòa đã làm tròn sứ mạng bảo quốc an dân. Dân miền Nam có được tự do hạnh phúc, Sài Gòn hàm học.
Ai xui miệt ấy ghé về thăm. Bún cá phở quyên vẫn mãi thèm. Hầm rục xương cá ngọt liệm, chả cá vàng tươi ngon giòn, nước lèo bốc khói thơm ngát, tương hành chanh ớt. Chị mời em ăn tô bún cá chứa chan tình người.
Xin mời quý vị đến với phở quyên, ăn một lần lại muốn ăn thêm. Phở quyên 714 896 0928 896 0928.